the developers made. Lately, I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 again because I haven't played it in a while, and I don't even use it travel. I drive or I walk everywhere so that I can see everything, right? Because there's a lot there, and I think it deserves to be like, sort of experienced in the way, in like a more intentional way. So I look at all the food, I look at everything all the junk, I look at everything. And I think it is pretty cool to do that. Listen to the music, So anyway, what did Elon Musk? Okay, so what's he got going on here? So he basically said there are too many game studios that are owned by massive corporation. At XAI is going to start an AI game studio to make games great again. He said this I think he was on like a stage or something, and somebody he said this before. And he said, can you imagine what we could do with AI to improve on video games? Now, I like that he's doing something new. I hope that more people start studios. It doesn't have to come from like the richest man in the world. But it's nice to know that, he's got our back. And he's also pissing off the right people in saying that. He says, Grums, in support of him, said, AA games are outperforming AAA games bloat this year by an order of magnitude. AAA budgets of these massive corporate games are unsustainable. 8 to 12 studios spread out over the world to make one game is hugely inefficient. Mythical Man Month on steroids. $300 million to $1 billion budgets competing for 5 to 10 slots a year between success and failure. High risk means no new ideas and the same recycled slop. They are already collapsing. Meanwhile, AA studios with $40 to $70 million budgets are delivering 5 to 10 times returns and taking all the top sale slots this year. And yeah, 100%. I'm all about the AA devs, all about it, because they will give me I want something that's going to look, give me that sort of cutting edge visual experience and audio and depth, but without the massive bloated budget, right? And I think AA is where it's at for that, if that's what you're after. So, what do you think about first of all, what do you think about Elon Musk starting his own studio? I guess that we should get that out of the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the introduction of AI systems for procedural-based aspects and things like that is definitely, for efficiency's sake, to help keep these teams good and small, is, not the worst thing. But as long as one of those things is that it is not solely AI-based, there will still be forms of actual legitimate merit-based artistry involved to actually, have the discernment and the ability to actually tell stories. But other than that, an AI based kind of method and approach, these are just modernized tools. A lot of people that I went to art school with that I still see on Facebook are all freaked out about every facet of AI. And, I have my concerns, with people like, Bill Gates using it to do real-time censorship models and things like that. But, to just castigate anything that's AI in and of itself, I think is, that's kind of like throwing the baby out with the bathwater kind of situation where it's that might be a bridge too far. And I think that what he's proposing ultimately is, a way to kind of, because the game industry has become over the course of the last 15 years captured by this ideology, the only way that it's going to rebound from that, quite honestly, is through these small independent companies that we've been talking about, and a large-scale effort like this that is going to freeze out people that would otherwise try to make a situation happen like we were talking about earlier in the show with Obsidian, where you have all these woke white women of various colors, genders, creeds, all complaining and putting the actual development in a mire. This is, I think, an appropriate response to that, and it may not be the only viable solution, but it is certainly something that will be far more beneficial in the long term than just leaving it to its own devices. Oh. I don't know that I can hear you.
I was muted. I'm sorry.
Yep.
First thing I will say
no
is my bad. AI is here. There's no reversing that. There's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube, as it were. But it's okay. In the meantime, we just have to be ethical human beings when it comes to how we use it. And obviously, not a lot of people are going to do that. I don't know what Elon Musk's intentions are, but here are some ways I think AI could be very useful. Number one, probably to like cut down on some of the work involved in terms of like, you know, like the sort of really tedious, busy work involved in building the game. So this would be backroom stuff. Yeah, like this would be backroom stuff that wouldn't really impact players. It would just like sort of streamline the process, maybe speed things up and allow you to work way more efficiently. So I think AI could be useful in that, even in like micro ways, not like, you know, you have like one AI that does all the mapping, but rather little tools all here and there that like can help with that. That's sort of like the most, let's say, the least intrusive use that could be really useful. And I think that's probably coming anyway. So there, you know, like
it's actually really technically already here. Like they've been calling it, because when I was in college, you know, 15, 20 years ago, they were talking about procedural based programming. And that's really, you know, AI is just a fancy name for what a lot of these, you know, systems were, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago already, just under a new banner, because it, you know, we're always moving towards AI, but AI is, you know, just a whole bunch of logical arrays that can, you know, do quick data searches within their own databases and extrapolate from that information how to interpret or interpolate new data. So that's really all it is. It's just for procedural generation of content.
Yeah. For some reason my YouTube stream ended on the horizontal. The vertical's still going out, but I don't know why the horizontal stopped.
There was a thing when I was talking for a minute, everything went dead on my end, and then I ultimately ended up coming back. I think that the stream kind of had a general stroke for about a minute. And
really? So I didn't even know. Well, it says I'm still live.
Oh yeah, so no, I'm watching the live feed. There was a point though where I thought you dropped out.
No idea.
I was the one that
why
dropped out.
That happened. I didn't do anything, but somehow that happened. I am sorry,
you know,
guys.
I was just talking about real-time censorship and Bill Gates being a fucker. So you know, not to say that's exactly what's happening, but I can at least joke about it.
All right, let me just go to the control room over here so I can see you guys.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
I have no idea how this happened. I didn't even end the show. No, not for kids. Save. All right, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I just noticed just one of my streams, the YouTube one, just stopped.
Yep.
And
well,
I went to
this stream as saying that it is started 8 minutes ago, so this is going to be a bisected.
The horizontal?
No, the horizontal. Yeah. Because I'm watching it on my phone on the horizontal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so. I don't get it. Okay, well, whatever. We're back. I mean, we didn't really go, but for whatever reason, it started over. So, yeah. So the first thing I would say is it kind of like helps probably with just sort of like the tedious, busy work of building a game, the coding and all that. But how can it be used to make the games better? Well, first of all, I think that AI could, and this already exists. There is like an AI sort of tool that enhances like the textures and the graphical fidelity and stuff, and it does it in real time, which could be used to like save on a lot of processing. For example, there are some games that are, you know, like sort of like AA or AAA games that when you are, let's say it's in a 3D space and you are looking in a certain direction with your character, whether it's first person or third person, and all of the stuff that's like behind you is not rendered. So it basically like erases all the stuff behind you that's out of your sight. And then when you turn, it like renders it as you change your orientation. Right. That is like one of the ways that they save on it. It's almost like, you know, like how in the original Silent Hill, when they had this, you know, they were working with a system that wasn't able to produce fully 3D environments. They basically created this fog to sort of like act as a way of dealing with draw distance in the game. And of course,
Right.
the fog became a character and a big part of the game itself. So I think this is like another compensation, but maybe AI can like take that a step further. So that's one. The one that a lot of people talk about that they're really hoping for is that the AI can actually be used with NPCs.
Yes.
So that they don't have like stock, like things that they say and whatever. That could be fun, but that sounds really, really complicated. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, there are already people that are working on it in the mod community. I've seen people using LLMCs or large language model to integrate into, say, something like the game Enter the Matrix for their Unreal demo. So it's definitely not only plausible, it is happening. And the other interesting aspect of this too is you can actually extrapolate a lot of data from players, so you can legitimately make better AI scripting within the bots in terms of combat, because they'll actually be able to base their algorithmic drivers off of real world information rather than just being programmed and things like that. So it will make a lot more diversity of play and just kind of like more dynamics that would otherwise be far too tedious for any one person to program or anything like that. So using it in those methods specifically should make the game experience more rich, because if you're using your AI and procedural based drivers on mechanics, and just simply on the mechanics and the presentation of data, but still allowing for like a good tight team to come in, craft a good story, and give it like, the ultimate direction and oversee how it's supposed to go. That to me seems like that's the stuff that we were talking about back when we were when I was in art school, on what we wanted the game industry to be, not this over bloated kind of ideological based fuckery system that ultimately swallowed up so many of my colleagues and cohorts at the time. One of my only contacts that I still really associate with from my game design program, he is also an independent game designer who at some point in time will be a guest on future shows, once, because he's got a hush hush project that I'm not going to go into, but there will come a time when we'll do everything we can to highlight what he's got going, because he's working on some pretty interesting stuff from what I've seen in the background.
Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about that as it goes on. Yeah, I mean, like, AI could be fun. I think that if they put AI NPCs in, like, say, a, let's say Elder Scrolls type game, there's probably gonna be a lot of hilarious video clips going around it. And that's like what we want, right? We want it to be fun. I mean, AI may eventually destroy humanity, but in the meantime, we can have fun with memes and whatever he does with video games. So I am optimistic, and I'm glad, because again, Elon Musk is part of this vibe shift that I've been talking about. But guess what, John? We got breaking news. Like literally while you were talking, yes, I got breaking news. I love
when we get to do that.
Yeah, I love when we get to do that too. So, Dead by Daylight developer allegedly forcing employees to undergo Wheel of Privilege DEI training. This is from Jonathan Trend over at Fandom Pulse. I just want to share what this is. I know what the Wheel of Privilege is. Do you guys know? I know.
Is that the 17 point? That looks. Oh man. Let me see if I can find it. God,
let me read the article. Okay, so Chaya Ranchik, who runs the Lives of TikTok account on X, posted, quote, "Behavior, a large video game company in Montreal, Canada," it's always the Canadians, "made employees undergo DEI training, which includes a Wheel of Privilege teaching that Black people and fat people are oppressed." In a post to Instagram, August of 2020, Duckworth explained the wheel. So this is not new, the Wheel of Privilege. I actually have it saved on my computer if I ever need to pull it up to talk about it, but it was right here anyway. Wheels like this help us visualize what the term marginalization means. The further you are from power, the more marginalized and powerless you are. She continued, because it's always women, You will notice as you try to place yourself in the different categories that your level of power / marginalization will likely shift between categories. This is another way to look at intersectionality, intersectional feminism, which is what I have been talking about for years. Do you know that intersectional feminism is essentially feminism plus? It also does not fight against patriarchy. Now it fights against kyriarchy, Kyriarchy. Kyriarchy. It's basically just wokeness, critical consciousness, whatever, commie shit. Following the libs of TikTok's report, YouTuber Smash JT shared on X, behavior felt like it was a good idea to go down this road, hiring Sylvia Duckworth, a deep-rooted race-baiting grifter, to cash in on DEI money. Sylvia is everything wrong with entertainment in the modern era. Behavior Interactive has shown their true colors. Not surprising, again, they are Canadian.
Here,
so
I'm gonna send something to you through the private chat. I don't know if you can
can you put in the Discord? Or
yeah, that's what I mean by private chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and send it through the Discord. I'll
yeah, because what this looks like to me is obviously the this is straight from the WEF.
Oh yeah, sustainable development goals. Yeah, it's the same. I think it might be the same thing. I think you might be right. Let's put it up on the screen. Well, no, this is different, but it looks the same. The
it
wheel
looks very
privilege,
yeah, but
yeah,
it's like 17 different points of bullshit.
Yeah,
and that looked like a whole bunch of slices on a pie. So it might not be exactly the same, but it's still in the